Difficulties abound this evening. Good grief. All right. What's going on, John? Hey, William. Raven. Somewhere. Show up. I know if you can hear me before I get into this too much, I reckon. Make sure that. What's going on, Williams? Daggum. What a freaking day. I was having issues with the phone and whatever. I don't think you really want to hear me complain. What's going on, Idaho Duck Hunter? So, you know what? We'll walk this way. We'll just hang out and chat for a minute and make sure y'all can hear me. Right. How's your week going? Have y'all gotten any rain? We got like, let's see. Last night we got slammed with a little bit of a rainstorm. Hey, to those 6 people that are watching, if you could go ahead the like button so that way it'll help push this out there, that'd be great. And section, sweet. Thanks, Williams. Glad you can hear me. So we got a little freak storm last night. It really wasn't on the forecast. And 6-7, gosh darn it. Thanks, Rio. So we got a little bit of a freak storm last night. It ended up being like 0.76 inches of rain. And we're so used to not having rain now because that was, let's see, that was like day 26 of so we got a little bit of a rainstorm last night, which was great. Helped top off the tanks. I still had let's see, I still had 2,500 gallons of water in reserve for the house, and the house has 7,500 gallons tied into it all the time. So I have not had to transfer water from any other. I did transfer 250 gallons off the carport yesterday, oddly enough, right before the rain, which ended up being a total blessing. So I had just emptied the carport tank, and that tank filled quick. That 0.76 last night refilled that tank, and it was overflowing. But I had just pumped it into the main tanks that are tied into the house all the time. And we were getting low. We were down to maybe 1,500 gallons in our draw tank, and we still got 2,500 tied in up there at the top of the up the hill at the house. So it was it's tied in and shut off. And when we're in a drought like this, I only put in like maybe 1,000 gallons at a time, and especially if I know I'm going to be around, so that I can monitor every couple days and make sure that we don't have a leak or anything cool like that, because we dang sure don't want to leak. We lose 2,500 gallons overnight or something like that. So hey, I'll take the random GTA 6 comments, no big deal, that helps. Holes my Kia. So I was kind of monitoring the tank and trying to keep our main draw tank at 1,500 gallons, 2,000 gallons. We can draw down to like 600 in that before the pump starts sucking air. So anyways, I had just opened up the valve to allow the 250 gallons that I'd moved from the carport down to there, and then we got all that rain last night. I'm down to check it to see how much we actually captured off the main structure of the house. It should be something like 1,500 gallons, 6 inches of rain last night. So there was huge limbs down on houses, trees blown over, and everything. There was huge limbs down on houses, trees blown over, and everything. So we escaped the wind, being where we're at up here in the mountains. That wind factor for where I've been. Anyways, we can get into that some other time. Escaped the wind, got good rain. Me and my sons were actually outside loading up lawnmowers to take to the mechanic. So we had to stop for just a little bit for the rain, and then got everything else loaded up. And we ended up taking 3 mowers, so a trailer load of mowers down to the mechanic. Thanks, Williams, for the update. Appreciate that, dude. Um, you're like one of the few on here that will actually let me know when you can't hear me. I appreciate that. So we got mowers off getting fixed. We have had a very hard time with that over the last several years. Cannot seem to keep a mower going. So, anyways, I was running low on lumber. I kind of pulled a silly and miscalculated. I had to drive basically 3 hours around another 20 boards today. Um, Jack. So, dang. I don't know what the deal was with the phone. I don't understand sometimes. It says I've got, I think I'm even connected to the Starlink right now. So I'm sorry. I don't know, man. Um, okay, so where are we at? Oh, yeah. So I left the house in the dark this morning to go get the last few boards that I need for this cabin. And no lumberjack voice. Nope. No lumberjack voice here, man. Just me. Um, so today has been a lot of like running around trying to get last little things together for the cabin and get it wrapped up. And the anticipation is that um, I should have it released. I don't know if I'm going to have it in a newsletter tomorrow or what. I'm going to put it to you like this. If you see the, when you see the cabin here in a little bit on the live, then if you're interested, you need to shoot me an email because it's hard to say how long it sits. Um, is a prime property too for if there's a few of you that want to have cabins close to each other, like within walking distance, and a killer view and a spot where you homestead a little bit. What I mean by that is like some really level ground. So you could certainly put in a greenhouse up here. Um, hey, can you do a video showing how to put solar panels on the roof without leaking? Rudy Desty. Yeah, I may. It's a little bit of a gamble. Um, it's kind of a risk that you're just going to have to take. Hey, from Florida, thanks for dropping in. I'm gonna keep it real. Appreciate that. Um, oh yeah, I saw your retracted message there. I'm gonna keep it real. But anyways, um, so yeah, I can show you there's some ways to mount them, but all right, there are some ways to mount the panels, but it all depends on what a roof mounted solar is not like my go-to. It's what I've done, especially if the space is limited. Um, there is a time and a place for roof mounted solar, but if you have a yard or you have a driveway that could support a carport and you have a little, hey, from Pennsylvania, that's my old stomping grounds. And be careful with the angry little critters. Bobo the monkey, I'm not sure what you're talking about, unless you're talking about chiggers, in which case you can keep those. Yeah, Williams, you're right. It's not when the solar panels leak, or it's not if, it's when. It's kind of like riding a bike, or flying a plane. Like things are going to happen. You ride a bike, you dress for the slide, not for the ride, right? Um, so solar panels, yeah, I can show you how to do. Do I know about construction, Nick Saint? Yes, a little bit. I've built a thing or two. I've seen a thing or two. Not as many, not as much as some, but I do know a little. Um, Ground mount solar is superior, um, in my humble opinion. Yeah, you did see me do it on one of my builds. I've actually done it on two of the builds now. One of them has like four. No, let me think. One of them has 3,200 watts of panels on the roof, and the other has 1,200 watts of panels on the roof. It's certainly doable, but you run into like this. The thing is with the roof mount is it's more cost effective, but um, you can't set your pitch like you might want, and you can't do it, exactly due south or due east or due west or whatever that you're trying to shop for there. You're kind of limited to the pitch of your roof and how your house was built. So it's kind of, you're just going to have to deal with what you got there. But if you got a place to do ground mount in your backyard, I don't know where you live, like if you're remote or suburban or what, but um, if you have a way to do ground mount in your backyard or like a carport, like I've done at my house, that is the way to go, in my humble opinion. Uh, you have more control over how it all lies out. So, and furthermore, Rudy Dusty, I don't do anything with roofs. So if you've got a shingle roof, my application will not apply. Everything I do is sheet metal as far as the roof, anyways. For my hunting cabin in the Ozarks. Okay, right on. Uh, yeah, there might be some other options. Check out, I've got a video up on here with that Integra rack. You might check that out, man. That's like, you can't beat that price. I don't have an affiliate link or discount code or anything like that for you, but certainly worth checking out, I think, is that Integra rack. You can get them in a few different angles, but if you're here in the Ozarks, you're going to be shopping for like a 30-degree angle, anyways. And yeah. You're not wrong, Williams. So, hey, the only exception I will make on a metal roof and not having to leak is standing seam roof. And that is the one thing that I think I kind of wish on my house was a standing seam metal roof because it's more commercial. And if and when I go back with a metal roof on my house, I will probably go to a standing seam if I can afford it. If I can afford to go to a standing seam, I am going to litter that thing with solar panels, just because why not? You can get the mounts for a standing seam that actually clamp on that seam, so they clamp on, so you've got no roof penetrations. That is something to consider. So I will throw that out there. I've not actually gotten to do them, but I have researched them enough to know that that's how I would go if I was going to do it all over again. And that's just part of it. It's like live and learn through everything. And the more you do, the more experience you gain. And the more experience you gain, if you're that type of person, the more you can help other people. So when you set the panels in your yard, you'll definitely have to run your wires underground, which is a pain in the butt. Yeah, you do. It depends. I mean, you could set them. I don't know which way your house faces. You could set them up against the house and not really have to trench it. Um, if you're just talking about your hunting cabin, I would not be twisted about running some 1-inch conduit on top of the ground and running your. Good golly. Not sure what to do here. Okay. All right. Right on. All right. I dropped off a Starlink, so maybe that'll help. I suppose if I had parked the truck in a clearing, this wouldn't be an issue, huh? Okay. So, hey, Nick Saint, what do you like? You asked if I knew about construction. What are you talking about? Bobo the monkey? I don't really deal with bears. They're kind of more afraid of you than you are of them. They're certainly around here. One of the cabins I've sold, he sent me a picture, or actually a video of a sow and 3 cubs on there. Another cabin that we've worked on, they've got a sow and 2 cubs over there. So all up here on this mountain, but they don't cause a problem. The drought, I think they're coming out trying to find more water with the drought. But the snakes have been super minimal this year, Bobo. So don't jinx me on that, man. Yeah. Okay. We need more videos. I literally sleep with your videos playing in the background. Hey, I appreciate that. That works for me. I let off at half-inch conduit. Good golly, Williams, that was way back there. Sorry, dude. I think I was talking about the EMT or the conduit for running the PV wires. And then I kind of stopped for a little while until you all got back on here. So I didn't really say much after that. Rudy, I really appreciate that. Hey, like I'm working on it. Actually, we've got several videos planned over the next several days that should carry us through the weekend, it looks like. So we're working on it. We're getting better. Jim, good to see you back, man. Yeah, I replied to your email this week or this past week. So we've been in touch. This was like the one week John didn't email me, but that's all right. I'm sure there's somebody else. Hello, are you nature? Yeah, I'm nature. This is nature. I am in nature. I don't know. Bike. Sure. I'm in nature and I love nature. Thanks to y'all, I get to do what I really like and it's not much of a job. Or I don't view it as such. I freaking love this. Love what I've got going on right now. Whether it's building the cabins or whatever. So, what else we got? Any other questions, thoughts, ideas? Do we need to do these more often or do we need to do them at a different time of the day? Or are we just going to stick with Thursdays in the evening or what? Or do you guys want random, just like videos like this? If I'm just like BSing to the camera, do you guys want those throughout the week? Will you watch them? Or do you just want like how to hook up your house to a generator or whatever? I don't know. Do you sell your house plan? I love your floor plan. Okay, Rudy, I can't take credit for the house plan. I mean, I've modified it a little bit, but that was kind of on a whim. The house plans, though, I buy them off of Etsy. You would be like one of hundreds that I've sent. Okay, not hundreds, one of dozens that I've sent to this person. So if you if you're interested in a house plan, shoot me an email, mountainwizard21@gmail.com. I will send you the link to Etsy. I'm not going to sell somebody else's content or product that I've purchased, um, but I will send you the link to what I've purchased. So mountainwizard21@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, ask for the floor plans, put floor plans in the subject line, and I'll get those sent out to you. Or I'll send you the link. You'll have to purchase them, but it's the best I can do. I don't feel like it's right for me to give them away after I purchased them. It's somebody else's work. But keep in mind, they're not perfect. You have to modify some things. You need a little bit of building experience. And what I modify, I don't write down. So just kind of going. Okay. Do we need to dig out the old smartphones and start farming videos for your channel? Or farming views for your channel? Williams, I'm not opposed to that, man. What you do on your side, that does not bother me. Have y'all seen that walkthrough of the cabin is up to like last time I looked, is that like 978,000 views. I am so close to a million views, and that makes me giddy. Just the fact that potentially dang near a million people found that interesting to watch blows my mind and is super cool. And I need like a lot more videos like that so that way I can really full time. But anyways, I find that really neat to have a video that is almost at a million views, and I foresee it to be at a million in the next 30 days or so. So that's really cool. Sorry, end of my little rant. Okay, Thursdays work for now. Hey, you like the background? Right on. This is a real tree. I am in the woods. Oh, you watched it last night, Williams? Right on, dude. Thanks. And if you didn't watch it, I mean, what the heck? Why were you waiting so long or hadn't watched it? So, hey, we're doing good with the likes to views ratio. I appreciate that. If anybody else wants to hit the like button that hasn't, that would be fantastic. All right. So the cabin here, I'm going to take you through it. All right. I'm going to show you where we're at with it. And this is basically you're getting the nobody else knows about this. This is only on the live. So my YouTube videos are running a few days behind or maybe even longer. And so by the time YouTube sees, hey, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that, Vicky. Or Vike. I don't know. Sorry, but I do appreciate you subscribing. Um, so I'm gonna walk you through the cabin. You guys are the first ones to see it. I figure if you show up on the live, like that's as close to Patreon or anything like that as I've got going right now. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna show you the cabin. The videos for the cabin are running a few days behind on YouTube. So by the time they see it, like the listing will be done and it'll be listed with the realtor. So if you know of folks that are looking for something like this, um, there's going to be basically 4 lots side by side. There's probably, if they bought all the acreage that was available up here, it'd be something like, I don't know, I don't want to misspeak, somewhere between 15 to 20 acres on this little like section. And there could be up to probably 4 cabins next within walking distance of each other. And I was trying to go into all this earlier and then I got distracted. And this, like, it's level enough up here. Like, it's just as level as my homestead. It's level enough that you could run livestock, you could have a chicken coop, you could have a greenhouse, all that stuff. You still got good solar capability and things like that. So, you need a separate video for the cabin tour. Okay, there will be a separate video for this cabin tour, but the cabin I'm going to show you right now is the one that we've been working on for the last week and a half, and it's the one that's fixing to go on the market. And it's a little bit different than what you all have, some of you all have seen. It's not a fully complete cabin. It's more of a shell to kind of like an intro to off grid. But, anyways, okay, I'm not going to talk about the topography of the land anymore. If y'all are in, if somebody ends up interested, they can drop us a line. All right, so I'm going to give you a walkthrough on this, on the live of this cabin and where we're at right now. And I suspect within 48 to 70 hours, it'll be listed for sale. So, yeah. Hills just make extra lean live. Depends on what you want. Yeah, yeah, but the livestock or the hills aren't just like ignorant here. Not right here, anyways. There's other parts where they're pretty darn steep. But okay, so we're on the job site, and I'm gonna spin you around on the camera and let you see the cabin. There she is in all her glory. So we are wrapping things up, quite literally. All the windows are in, door went in today. Sheet metal's got a little bit of trim that needs to be done. This is all lap and gap pine siding, 1x10 on the sides, and it's trimmed out with cedar. And yeah, there's the steps going up on the deck. I'm gonna walk you around this thing. I really like this this layout and this design of the cabin. This one, like, it might be one of my favorites. That is the really cool thing about what I get to do is I get to just keep on like building different ones and seeing what I like. Like this all worked out really nice. The cedar is like flush with the 1x, and then the corners are 1x6. Yeah. Walk you around here. There's still a few things to do. I figure we'll finish up with it tomorrow, but it has come along really nicely. all tongue and groove up there underneath the porch ceiling. So this one's like 384 square feet on the floor, and then there's a loft. And then the deck is 6 by 16. I'd have to do that math. This will all be the same siding here, tongue or lapping gap, and that is all tongue and groove pine up in the ceiling on the porch. And there you go. I think you've seen the inside. Bathroom over here, bedroom off to the right, right there. And then closet in the bedroom. And then that is a closet in, walk around here. That's a closet in the living room. So that is a pretty general overview of the cabin. So should finish up tomorrow, I think. The comments dropped off again, so I don't know if that means that you've lost me or I love. Oh, thanks, Grigsby. The dimensions of this cabin, Rudy, are it's 16 foot wide. The interior is 16 by 24. And then you add the porch and it would be 16 by 30. So 30, or I'm sorry, 6 foot wide on the porch there, right behind me. Okay, right on, Williams. Thanks. I couldn't tell. I was like, I wasn't sure walking in the metal building if that took away from the cell phone service or not. So there it is. It is super pretty. It's going to have a killer view on that porch too. Like, really. Thanks, Williams. Appreciate that, dude. I do appreciate that. This stuff is so much fun to me. I think so. This is going to be, I don't think I've told y'all. I'm just going to do it like a super simple solar system. There you go. Big words. On this cabin, I'm going to do like a side mount 100-watt panel here. Do a 100 amp hour lithium battery inside in a box where you could like charge a phone, be able to run your 12-volt stuff like a fan or let me think, like, yeah, fan, charge your phone, whatever, other 12-volt supplies, lights. And then I'm going to do solar lights like I typically do up here on the porch, and they'll be controlled with a remote. And then I'm going to run another strand of those solar lights inside just to give it light. So somebody could move in right away and begin working on it. What we're going to do, I'm going to just list this as a shell, as an unfinished cabin. And the idea behind that, I'll catch up on the comments here in a minute. The idea behind the shell is just to keep the entry cost low. And this is kind of like the hard part, right? And so we're winding down, we're coming into fall and then winter. And so it's a very feasible time to work on a cabin yourself. And that's kind of why I'm doing it like this. Finish it out, or well, not finished, but it will be a shell. The exterior will be mostly finished. You know, the wood will still need to be sealed or stained or however the new owner wants to do that. Solar system can most certainly be increased and whatever. Gutters can be put on, but that's a lot of stuff that people can do step by step. And this is like the big thing. This is what you need to get. You're in the dry now. You can start staying in the cabin tomorrow, essentially, and working on these as they, as you have time and as you have funds. So, there's certainly still a few hot days, but by the time it goes to close, like let's just say it goes under contract quickly, all right? It'll go to close late September, and you're starting to get into some cooler nights. I'm not going to swear to you that you're never going to get a warm day or anything like that, but you're starting to get some cooler nights, and so it's manageable to stay up here. I feel like it's always easier to stay warm than it is to cool down. So I would prefer to stay in a place that was not finished through the winter myself. So it'll be an unfinished cabin. Primarily, most of the exterior will be finished. The interior will be raw. You'll start to run electric, plumbing, etc. But yeah, uh, yeah, and it'll have like yeah, it'll have pretty it'll have a simple solar system just to get started. I might even put an inverter there. Just that way, somebody's got a way to be able to charge a phone, run a fan, that sort of deal. Okay, now we'll catch up on the comment. All right, thanks, Grigsby. I'm glad you liked the porch. 5x5 looks excellent. Appreciate that, Williams. Tell us more about the siding. Okay, so Rudy Destel. The siding, this stuff is like my favorite, and the reason I like this siding, it is a pine siding. It's a 1x4. Some people don't like wood on the exterior. I get it. You like, yeah, it's more work. You're gonna have to treat it, whatever. But it looks like a freaking log cabin, and I love that. This is the same stuff I put underneath the porch on my house. And let me see if I can find a cutoff border. It's a 1x10, so 1 inch thick. So it's an inch thick, right? And it is called Lap and Gap pine siding. And it's a kind of rough on the outside too, so it gives it like that log cabin look, which I really, really like. Like almost like you'd expect to see like pitch in between the seams. And I don't know. I think that's neat. So that's why I do it, or why I chose it on this. I mean, we've certainly done the metal siding, and I'm not going to swear that we're never going to go back to metal siding or anything like that. The cost comes out to about the same. I just really like the look of it. Like, to be completely honest, just am a big fan of the look of the log cabin. So, what does septic cost up there, Jim Listerman? If you're going to get a DEQ approved septic system as of about 18 months ago when I bought the last one, including the perk test and having the licensed installer install it and it being specced out and everything for a 1,500 gallon septic system, came out to be $8,000. That was 8 months or 18 months ago. I don't know what they're running now, man. Um, I would not be surprised if it's shoot $1,500 higher. That would be about 20% higher. I wouldn't be surprised if it was came in at 9,500 now. Um, I've been seeing a lot of 20% increases across building stuff. So, do you decide on the inside framing while building, or do you design plans ahead of time? Grigsby Lane. So, depends on what I'm building. Um, I try to have a pretty general idea with a set of blueprints because it's easier to convey to my help what we're going to do. Most of the time, I stick really close to that. I'd say the thing that I vary the most on is my loft and how I lay that out. In the last finished cabin we did, I really changed up the loft a lot. There wasn't even a loft in that cabin floor plan, and I just wanted the extra space. So we added loft there. Um, but I don't know. Sometimes you get a feel for it and you want to change a wall and you do, and you need to change a wall in order to fit this or fit that. But as a general rule, I stick pretty close to those blueprints that I purchase. The cold is definitely more sticky out that way with humidity. Yeah, yeah, it can be. Rudy Destel. In this one, um I don't have a tape measure on me at the moment. Rudy, this cabin, or yeah, I think this one comes out to like 15 foot. It's just shy of because it's 8 foot on the inside. Let me get back down here. I think the metal on the roof might be jacking with you a little bit. I'll sit down here on the porch. Okay, so let me know if you can hear me, and then we'll go back. Okay, so I think the cabin ceiling in here is about 15 foot tall because there was just over 7 foot from the top of the loft to that beam, if I recall right. I don't have a tape on me, but that should be pretty close. Thank you, Williams. James Upton. Yes, this cabin is. Is this the James Upton that I know? Are you the local James Upton or not? Yeah, this cabin's for sale, James. Or yeah, or is about to be. I haven't sat down and run all the numbers, but I think it's gonna be, like, right at 60. I think it's gonna be right at 60,000, James. Let me know if you're the local James, the legend that I used to work with. Um, what does roof square footage work out to be for rain catchment? I haven't done the math on this one, and I don't know that I can X out of here and go to my calculator. Um, Let me try and do some rough math in my head. Just stand by, Jim. I'm thinking. I think the roof is going to come out to be about 600 square feet. Call it 550 to 600 square feet. James Upman, the legend from Edmond. Are you the local? Okay, well, if you're from Edmond, you're not the James Upton that I know. Because as far as I know, the James Upton that I know only lives about 30 miles from me. Jim, so I think it's going to come out to be like 550 to 600 square feet. And then you would multiply that by point 0.6 because you get about 600 gallons off 1,000 square feet. So I'm going to estimate one of y'all that has one of y'all that has a calculator, check this. But if it's 600 square feet times point 0.6 should be 360 gallons of water catchment per 1 inch of rain. So 360, and we get, for simplicity, 50 inches of rain a year. So 360 times 50. My, I don't know. Well, if it was 300 times 50, wouldn't that be 15,000? So you'd be over 15,000 gallons of rain catchment a year. You'd be over that. This is a lot of math in my head, man. Okay. Jim, let me know if that answers your question. And somebody's going to have to check my math on that. But I'm thinking you'd catch over 15,000 gallons a year with an annual rainfall of 50 inches. I think you'd catch 360 gallons per 1 inch of rain off of this roof. Should give you a pretty good idea. Okay. Thank you, Williams. Appreciate the help there, dude. Being live is what it is on another planet. Yeah. But yes, it is in out of times and latency too. Is he rich? No, James. I don't know. Yeah, he's rich. I think that we measure. Here, we're gonna go philosophical here. I think we measure richness the wrong way. We measure a person's wealth the wrong way. I think your wealth really comes down to um, your family, your kids, your relationship with your wife, your relationship with God. Um, so in those sense, from what I know about the local James Upton, the legend, yes, he is certainly rich. Uh, Monetarily, I have no idea, but that's not really. It's kind of I don't know the monetary rich or wealthy. I mean, it's a cool thing and it makes cool videos, but it's not really where it's at, man. Um, yeah, without yeah. 360 per inch should be 18,000. Right on. So I wasn't terribly far off for doing rough math in my head. I said 15,000. I was trying to be conservative. Rich in more ways than you know. You bet. You bet. Rich in work ethic and family. Don't know, James. Is this cabin in the same area as your others and on any land? James, so this cabin, um, oh man. Okay. I don't vaccinator. Not sure about that, man. Okay, this cabin is in the same area as my other cabins. Yes, it's on the mountain here. and it is on 2.5 acres, and there's about another 3 acres that could be joined with this cabin. So putting a, and that would need to be surveyed. That's a rough number, but you could add another 3 acres to this and bring you about to 5.5 acres with this particular cabin here. Um, an openly gay man here on live speaking his truth. I don't know. I don't know how to take that, vaccinator. I mean, hey, I guess thanks for the comment. I'll agree with everything else except for that, but I mean, you do you. Money is mostly worthless today anyway these days. Yes, it is. Yep. It's the relationships that are really going to pull us through on the end of this deal, but that's just my humble opinion for whatever that's worth. And to some, it's worth a lot, and to others, not much at all. But hmm. The sunset was super, super pretty last night. OnX is not a precision survey tool. Yeah, I talk about that in one of these upcoming videos. It'll probably get released. When are we gonna do that? I think it'll get released tomorrow evening. But I actually go over some of like the layout of this land in that video and how I acquired it and all those things, trying to help other people find land. CJ Hunter, hey man, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, Onyx is nowhere near precision survey tool. So when I had this surveyed, I had them do lots of line markers on this. So kind of, thanks, James. I don't know you, but right on. Or maybe I do. Um, I appreciate that. Um, so yeah, some of you all have seen me have to move a house that I built over a property line. That's part of learning from your mistakes. That is bound to happen. I guess it's not bound to happen, but it happened to me. I got a little bit too antsy to keep everybody working, and so we built without having a survey done. Done that once. Whatever. Somebody's got to do it. It might as well be me. You know, the people who don't make mistakes, the people that don't do anything. Those are the ones. The ones that are perfect, um, in their mind, are the ones who have not gotten out there and tried to do anything. And the ones with experience are the ones who have gotten out there and done things and they've screwed up, and that's how they got the experience. So, anyways, Onyx is a people finding tool for most folks. Yeah, yep, it is. Um, in fact, I had to show the local sheriff's department that because they couldn't find me one day. So they called, and so I went and met him, and I said, "Let me show you." I said, "You realize, like, I've got a address that is registered with your tax assessor's office." And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Do you not know how to look that up?" So, anyways, I had to walk him through Onyx. So, um, yeah, the man in the arena. You are absolutely correct. Fail first, get it over, and move forward. Yeah, but go slow with failing. Like, don't sign up for failing more than you absolutely have to. And I think that's part of your wisdom deal is calling on your elders. And like, don't get twisted. Your elders is not necessarily people that are older than you. It may just be people who have been there and done that. Um, that's the way I look at it, anyways. Elders to me is people with wisdom, and it doesn't necessarily always mean that the person is older than you. And uh, you kind of you can get humbled by that sometimes. There are people that are far more mechanically inclined than I, that are younger than I, and I learned a lot from those guys. When I went to school, I was the oldest one in that in that Caterpillar program at the time, or I was second oldest, and learned a lot from those kids from Kansas who just grew up fixing freaking everything. So, anyways, going off on a rant there. Sorry. Line markers is a must. I got 10 acres. I still don't understand the layout of the land. Onyx is showing me something different. Yeah, Rudy's. The Onyx is bojangled some days. I don't and it's not even like, it's not even consistently off. It's not like, "Oh, well, it's always 10 feet off." No, it changes. Age does not always equate wisdom, absolutely. Them Kansas kids are something else. That is an understatement. The guys that I've been around from Kansas, like, that is a totally different breed of people. Um, Goofy, but in a good way, but, like, talk about, like, get work done. Those are some hardworking individuals, and they play hard too. Seen it, but um, yeah. All right. So what else we got? Showed y'all the cabin. You all are the first to see it in its 97% completion. Um, what else have we got? My day was a little screwy with running around trying to get the last bit of building materials here. I've gotten help with the video editing, so more of that stuff will be coming out. Probably won't release a video tonight. I don't know. I might if I'm bored. When I get back to the house, I might release a video tonight that I have uploaded. And then tomorrow, I've got another one scheduled. Tomorrow's Friday. And I think we've got a good video coming out on Saturday, maybe covering the costs of the cabins. Hey, thanks, CJ Hunter. I appreciate that. Um, thanks for liking and subscribing. Yeah, James, I'll go back inside for you. So it's not a finished cab. I might lose you underneath the metal roof, but I'd have to go back and watch it. The cabin's not going to be finished. We're just going to do a shell here. I don't know how much of that you caught. And it's getting dark in here. So let me spin you around. So we've got, this is coming in the front door here. This is the bathroom over here to the left. And then here on the right is the bedroom doorway. And over here in the living room is a closet where I will probably put the solar power. And when you go in the bedroom here, there is another closet right there because I get dinged in the comments all the time for not having closets. And up top is a big loft. So it'll be about 7 foot tall loft. So yeah, like John said, if you rewatch it, but then I'll also here in a few days, I'll have another video coming out of a tour of the cabin, and yeah, so that should give you a pretty good idea. Okay, go back up here. Grigsby Lane. What do you use for internet out there? What do you recommend? Thoughts on Starlink? Starlink, like I could not have gotten the builds done without Starlink. I don't think. I have had Starlink at my house for, I don't want to misspeak, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now. And it's been fantastic. And then after I finished my first cabin, I bought Starlink for my truck. And so it's just a portable Starlink Mini on a mag mount. So I can put it on any vehicle I'm driving and plugs in the cigarette lighter. And it's fantastic. I love it. Tree cover is going to block it, but that's to be expected if you're in heavy tree cover. But yeah, so Starlink, 100% Grigsby Lane. Yep, without a doubt. James, you're welcome. Glad you asked. Was the siding made with trees on the property, or you buy them that way? Rudy Destel, I bought these. These are from a mill down. Well, yeah, I think the mill is down around Broken Bow, Oklahoma. That's where I drove today to go get them. I went to Lambert Lumber down there. And that's where I buy my tongue and groove and my lap and gap. In this case, this is the first time I've gotten to use lap and gap on a build other than my house, which I did 9 years ago. Anyways, I save a ton of money. I mean, it costs me fuel and it costs me time, but I save a ton of money to go down there and buy my tongue and groove pine that I use in the cabins. I don't have the time to mill here on the property. I don't have a sawmill, but I don't have the time, nor the equipment, and just yeah. Anyways, all of that. Yep, Starlink. No, they were not milled. Local to land, yes. If I may, where is this at? I mean, state looks great. CJ Hunter, this is in southeastern Oklahoma in LaFleur County, just over the line from Fort Smith, Arkansas. About an hour, call it an hour and 15 minutes from Fort Smith, Arkansas, and about 3 hours from Dallas, Texas. How are you powering the cabin? Solar or electric or gas generator? Okay. So KIP or Key PPO, I don't know. We're going to call you Kip. So this cabin will be with a small 100-watt solar panel because we're not finishing out this cabin. We're going to try to keep this economically feasible for somebody to just be able to step in and then finish out themselves. So I'll probably do a 100-watt panel somewhere on the side of the cabin over here. And then I'll do a 100 amp hour lithium battery inside. That'll give them a way to be able to charge phones, run 12-volt things. And then I might do a power inverter if I can pick one up. And yeah, and then they can wire up as they want from there. Yeah. So Williams, no, there's not supposed to be a gap there. Just not done. Just not done. Just not done. There's supposed to be siding on that wall too. And railings. We're not done that yet either. Thank you, CJ. Appreciate that. Yeah, Kip, no problem. Glad to answer the questions, man. That's why I'm here. So, what else we got? Gonna be a lot of cleanup. Hopefully, get everything cleaned up and out of here tomorrow. That's my intentions. Should we gotta do a little? He's gotta do railing. Gotta do a ladder up to the loft. Finish that gap up in the peak of the porch there. The siding on the front of the house will go pretty quick. That's not a big deal. We should be lock up tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon, something like that. Definitely got some stuff to clean up. For sure. For sure. For sure. And yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. The view is going to be killer. How high are the walls? They are 8 foot, Rudy's. Um, walls are 8 foot on the side. And then you've got like another 7 up in the loft. I just don't see the sense in going to a 10-foot ceiling. I did 9s in my house because that's just the way that it worked out. We were actually able to buy a bundle of 18-foot 2x6s when we built my house. And long story short, but there was a relationship with the mill. And so they were able to cut that bundle of 18 in half. So I actually had 2 bundles of 9. So yeah. So Rudy, you're 6'6". That is a tall person. That's tall. So 7-foot walls, I get that if you didn't have a vaulted ceiling. Or I'm sorry, John. So are you talking 7-foot walls with or without a vaulted ceiling? So the vaulted ceiling certainly makes this feel taller. Yeah, I could see that, Williams. Depends on what you're heating with, but yeah. If you got a loft, man, a loft always cooks you out. I'll be going and staying in a hunting cabin here in a couple, I don't know, a month or so. And the loft up top there, if you have the wood stove going, it'll burn you out of there. And everybody down on the lower floor will just be super comfortable. But a loft can certainly get warm. And you could add ventilation to the loft or whatever. I would do 7-foot walls on the loft area. You could do that, John. I just don't. I don't know what the cost savings is there, John. I kind of have to weigh that out because so much of the material comes in 8-foot sections. Now we'd have to trim everything down. I don't know that we gain anything from that. So the labor would be quite a bit higher. It's kind of my thoughts with it. If you're thinking winter heat, yeah, but we only get like 1 to 2 weeks of like bitter cold here. Um, the rest of the time, we're really more concerned with the air conditioning. So, but yeah, I could see that in a colder climate for sure. And that's what like a lot of those old trappers cabins, which was kind of the look I was going for here, by the way. Like the trappers cabins, they were a real low roof. They weren't very tall at all, from what I've researched and from the one that I've been in 30 years ago. I need to inquire to see if I got drawn for a state hunt on one of the NWMAs out that way. Thanks for the reminder. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hopefully you did. Are you talking about over at the munition plant, Williams? Oh, you said WMA. Sorry, maybe not. Um. So yeah, it's getting dark, and I think that it makes sense to leave these at about an hour, unless you all have something to some a request or something I need to answer. But the cabins turn out, and I think we got one more piece of metal to put on the other side. I screwed up on my cooking Cherokee and a couple other. Oh, right on. Well, hey, best of luck to you, man. I know the draw hunts are a big deal to a lot of folks. I've never entered, but I know that's a big deal. I think we're missing a piece of metal over here still that I got to put on. I kind of screwed up, but I not kind of. See, I don't want materials lying around, so I cut it really close when I purchase materials, and then I regret it later. I had to drive. Yeah, I still got to do a little piece there. I had to drive yesterday and go pick up one sheet of metal and one ridge cap because I measured a foot too short on my ridge cap. So that was my bad. But anyways, that was part of that whole mistakes thing that we were talking about earlier. But anyways, um, just I can't stand materials to go to waste, and they don't go to waste if I don't buy them, right? So I try not to have a bunch of extra stuff laying around, but I did screw up, and that was why I had to go pick up lumber today, and why I had to go pick up one piece of sheet metal yesterday that I had to order and had made. So it goes, right? It's just part of it. But all right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna call it an evening, and tomorrow is another day. It's been a full day for me today. Lots of driving, getting things wrapped up, trying to get the rest of the materials here. Do I know anything about Classic Country Land? Is that the owner finance? Not owner finance, but is that the finance land? Um, I think that's the land they sell on monthly payments. That let me think here. If it is, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't dealt with them exactly. There was a project not very far from here called Stone Creek Edition or Stone Creek or something to that effect. It's off Highway 82 north of Red Oak. And I had done quite a bit of work back there when I was running my forestry mulcher. And I'd done some rentals back in there as well. But that was really that's really about it. I know that it's high turnover land, and I'm going to go into that in one of these videos coming up on how to find land. You're kind of looking for that repossessed and high turnover land, especially stuff that people have left a bunch of trash. Um, so yeah, I don't know anything about him personally. I don't, I think Rock Rich is a YouTube channel. I think he talks about buying a lot of land like that. I don't know who exactly he dealt with, but you might look into them. Yeah, that's actually the one I'm checking out. Seems like a nice area. That's funny. Small world. Yeah. So Stonebridge. I haven't been over there. I need to drive over there just for giggles. I think that would make decent content. Hey, CJ Hunter, thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you on another one in the future. Yep. So Levi, yeah, best of luck to you. Shoot me an email. I'm kind of curious how that works out for you. I don't know of anything negative with them. Like I said, Rock Rich on YouTube. I think that's how he got his piece of land and they paid it off and they're off grid doing their thing. I don't know him personally or anything like that, but might check out his channel. He might have something to kind of put in on that. But yeah, I mean, if you could do it, I think it's easy to walk in. I think that's the plus side of it is just you know a little bit of down payment money and you're in, and you don't have to go through everything. Um, you don't have to go through everything with the bank. So hey, best of luck. I don't have anything negative to say about it. If that period. All right, I'll leave it at that. Ask Papa is a good channel for potential property guidelines. I'll have to look into that, see in my spare time, which there doesn't seem to be much of these days. Oh, he's got a book too. Okay, I'll have to look into that. All right, I think I'm gonna call it an even. It's getting dark in the woods, or darker, and I'm gonna go get some things wrapped up. I was watering the sheep. That's where the thumbnail came from when I was scheduling my live. I was watering the sheep just before all of this, and I do not have spare time. You are pretty accurate there, John. I don't feel like I do, anyways. Williams, see ya, man. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks, John, for stopping in. James Upton for dropping in. Oh, who else do we have? Levi, thanks for dropping in. Appreciate the input. Rudy, appreciate all the questions. I hope that I was able to answer them efficiently and effectively for you. Kip, thanks for dropping in, man. Appreciate that. Always appreciate the questions. That helps this stuff just do a lot better. Greg Spillane, good to see you on here. And let's see who else was on here. There was a bunch of y'all. Vicky, thanks for dropping in. Oh, good golly. And I don't know where Raven's at, but Raven, whenever you watch this, we missed you. So, all right, folks, we will catch y'all in the next one. Have a great evening. Mountain Wizard out. See ya.